Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video we are going to create this logo animation. You can see, and we will create this logo animation in Blender, and let's start our main video. In this video we are going to create a Blender logo animation, and I have created a new scene, and let's delete all the objects, built-in objects. So let's go to file, save as or save, and then you can go to the desktop, your folder, desired folder. I have choose the file gear folder and Blender logo animation folder. I have already created and name it Blend logo anim. Okay, so this is the name of the file, save Blender file. And I have already collected two things. One is SVG image. So if I will double click on this, you can see that I have created this. I have just collected this image from FreePic, and then I have just saved it from Illustrator as a SVG. There are a lot of online websites with use of which you can save your logos images as SVG. And the other thing is this texture, which we'll use for our logo. Definitely you can choose your own desirable textures. It's up to you, but for now we are happy with this. Let's go here and let's import the SVG. So let's go to import. Let's go to the scalable vector graphics. Let's select the logo SVG, and now you can see that we have a nice curve here with the logo SVG. Select the curve, go to transform. Initial size is quite small, so I will just make it 10 10. Okay, so that's great. So you can see that it's not on x-axis rotated perfectly. So let's press RX 90 degree, and now press 1 to front view, select the logo, and let's bring it in the middle here maybe. Okay, so we can definitely choose the point, the middle point for this object. So go to set origin geometry and middle of the geometry, and let's bring it over here maybe. Okay, and with this you will get an idea that where is the center, and we can place our logo in exact center. Okay, so that's beautiful. Definitely by default this logo has a material, and we don't need that material. So let's go to the material tab, and we will just delete this material from here, and now it's a whitish curve. Initial extrusion to this curve. So select the curve, go to this curve section, and here you will find out the geometry where we have the extrude option. So let's click here, and let's analyze it. 0.01 is too high, so let's make it 0.001. It's too low, so let's make it 0.004 maybe. And yeah, that is good, I think. So yeah, that's fine. So 0.004 is selected, and that's our extruded logo. That's beautiful. Let's add some materials for this logo. So for adding up materials, we can go to the shaded view, but before that we have to add the material to this logo. So let's go to material, add a material. Let's name that logo matte silver maybe. Okay, and then we can go to the shading. This is our logo, and now we are ready to add the impact. First of all, we will just make it metallic, then we can change the roughness value to our desired value. Okay, not too much roughness is needed, and then we need a image here. So let's press shift A, texture, image texture, open, and then select your texture. Texture is selected. Let's add this texture to the base color, and we have a nice texture over here. Definitely the texture tiling is not good as per our need, so let's bring it here. I'll just add a room here so that we can work in a better way, and then we can just press a texture coordinate we need. So let's press space, let's type texture coordinate, let's add it here, click here, and let's add object to the vector, and now you can see that it's quite good, but definitely we need to scale it. So let's press shift A, let's go to the converter, let's go to the math vector, and here we have the math vector. Definitely we will just scale the math vector, but here we don't have the scale option, so let's delete this, press shift A, let's go to the vector again, let's select the converter again, and let's select the vector math, let's add it here, let's add the object to the vector, and here we have this vector to vector, okay, and then we have the scale option over here, and now we can scale it as per our needs. So let's scale it, and let's maybe not too small. I think this much looks better. Okay, this much looks better. We can definitely change it later on, so no worries. And then you can see that by default this is not a color. We didn't choose any color for the image, and for this shader, so we don't need this RGB here. So let's change it to non-color, and then you can see the result here, and we can actually place this color section, this node, to the roughness map. So let's drag it and let's add it to the roughness to get some better results, and you can see that we already have a nice results. Although you can see here that the texture here is fine, but here they are stretched out, so for that purpose we can just choose this flat and let's make it to box, and it will fix the issues throughout the logo. Okay, so beautiful. The logo is quite good, I think, and yeah, we can play with certain more things, and we can manipulate the logo in various ways. So here you can see that we have the blend option as well, so you can definitely apply some blending. So if you have some bad seams throughout the logo, we can fix that easily. Okay, indeed the logo looks good, and the texture scaling is also good. So now we can add some more variations here. So let's press shift A, and let's go to the color ramp. So where is that converter? Color ramp, let's add it here, and we can play with the details. Okay, you can see that we can get some better results with this playing with these sliders, and that's nice. Let's add some more variations. So we can press shift A, we can go to texture, noise texture, and after adding the noise texture, we can plug that noise texture from the object to the vector, and then we can just place this nice texture. We'll mix up this nice texture over here, so don't be worried about that. So let's add shift A, let's go to the converter and color ramp again, and here we can just add this value over here, and now we will just mix out these ramps, and then we will plug it in to roughness map. So here we can just press shift A, let's go to the color, and then we can just mix the colors. Let's add it here, and you can see that now we have mixed out the colors, and the other factor value we can just place this color value to factor value. Okay, and now you can see this type of result. Definitely you can play with these sliders to get something better and attractive. Okay, so let's select this. I think yeah, that's good, shining logo. And also here you can see that we can directly add this color to the result to the roughness, and as well as we can place it to direct to the base color as well for getting some more nice results. Okay, in between we can definitely put a node here for uh, just adding a math node, and with this math node we can multiply the things, and we can play with the values. Okay, you can see we have nice values, and we can play with the values like this. Okay, okay, that's good. And definitely we can put, place another math vector here as well, and let's add another math vector, and let's see the value, and we can change these values to something to get something much better. Okay, so yeah, and we are adding these nodes and lot of things because later on if you want some changes into your shader, you can play with certain settings. Okay, so it's a quite nice thing. And now lastly we will add some bumpness, so let's add a shift A and vector and bump, and let's add it here, and we will just drag this node to the height. Okay, and from here we will just add this to the normal, and now you can see the result here. Let's wait for some seconds, and you can see too high bumpness. Okay, which we don't need. Definitely we will just decrease the strength to something like 0.117 maybe, and distance we will just decrease the distance as well. Okay, and definitely we can click on invert to get some better result. Yeah, that's beautiful. So we have added some bumpness and our texture and our shader, and that's great. We have successfully added this nice shader. Definitely we can implement the same shader to the text as well, but for now it's enough. We'll just save the things, and we'll just move back to the layout view for the further sections. So now we will place a camera over here, but before adding the camera we will just duplicate the main logo thing, and for that purpose I will just duplicate the main curve. So let's copy, let's paste it, and now you can see that we have a logo SVG. Let's hide this from the render view and other thing, and this is our new curve. Let's rename it logo, and this is our logo. So let's right click, convert to mesh, and now our logo is converted into mesh, and definitely we will just press tab and press A, right click, merge vertices. One more thing is that we never added a bevel to to our mesh. So yeah, it was a mistake, so let's delete it again because we have the backup, so it is always good. So let's copy this, paste it again, hide it, select the curve, go to the curve, and here you can see that we have the geometry and bevel, and here you can see the bevel depth. So let's add something, and you can see it's too high bevel, so let's make it 0 0 1. Yeah, 0 0 1 bevel is fine, but it's quite high, I think. So let's add 0 0 0 8 maybe, and now it's fine. I think I am happy with this. Now we can rename it. So let's rename it to logo, and definitely we can save everything before doing further steps. And now we will just right click, convert to mesh, tab, select everything, right click, go to the merge vertices by distance, select everything, and now we are happy with the results. Okay, we don't have any issue at all with our beautiful mesh. Control S to save everything, and now it's time to add the camera. Let's select the, press shift A, and let's add the camera to our scene. Definitely whenever we will place the camera, you can see we have some Z rotation, we have some Y rotation, we have some X rotation. We need X rotation to 90 degree, so I'm 90 degree, and now we will just move to back, and now we want to visualize the camera view. So let's bring it somewhere here. Okay, so let's bring it here, and let's click on camera, and here is the camera view. Now the thing is that we need text as well, so let's press shift A here, and we will just click on text, and here is our text. Press tab, and then we will just name it fight gear. Definitely for the text, I'll just press tab again, and then here is our settings for our text. We have the setting for the font, which is here. So let's click here, and we can choose any beautiful font. So I'm happy with this, and then we press RX 90 degree to rotate it to 90 degree, bring it let's extrude it first, and then we will just set up it in a proper way. So here you can see that inside the geometry tab we have the extrusion, so let's click here. I think 0.03 is fine. Let's just place it here on the main logo and test it out, and I think 0.04 will be fine. Yeah, that's the better figure. And now I think we have both text and the logo added here and extruded in a proper way. So press 1 to focus on the front way, and then we can just place it here. And I will just make it this text a little bit small. Let's go back, and let's make it 0.8, 0.8. So yeah, 0.8 is fine thing. So let's bring it here, because we have to animate the text and we have to animate the main logo as well. So we have to do some proper settings before moving further. So we have to convert into mesh before doing anything else. But before converting it to mesh, we have to test out its check out its topology. So here you can see that we have the 3D text. So if we click here, if we click here at this spot, where it is, yeah, here you can see that when we click click here, we can enable this wireframe, and you can see the bad topology here. You can see that you can see the bad wireframes here. So for solving this issue, we can go to modifier, we can add a we can add it a modifier, remesh modifier, and then here we can select the sharp, uncheck this remove thing, and we can just add 8 here, and now we have a best topology, and we can animate our text according to our needs. Definitely now we can convert it to the mesh. Before that I will just disable it. Let's select it, everything, and convert it to the mesh, and now we will just press tab, everything is selected, select everything, right click, and we have another thing, split, separate, and we will separate the words separately, so we can just choose by loose parts. So now you can see that every word is a separate word, so select all the words here, all the text, okay, and then press Ctrl A, and then we can just apply all transforms, so every set up now properly. Now the last thing is that we want to set origins for all the text. So here you can see that we can initially set origins to animate to the geometry. Definitely you can use the same place, but for the better animation we can actually move the origins a little bit. So I will do that, and I will show you that why I will do that and how I will do that, so don't be worried. Origin to geometry, origin to geometry, and now we will just click on options and origin, and then we will just select the F, and you can see that now we can move the origin. So press 1 for the frontal view, move this origin to somewhere here, select this, move origin to somewhere here, and in this way we can just move all the origins at our desired positions, because when we will animate it will be quite helpful, and the animations will be quite good in this way. So don't be worried, and here we are, and here we are, and a little here, and then we have this thing, and now everything is in place. That's great. So we have text ready to animate, we have the logo ready to animate. Okay, so let's start animating the logo. So for animation we have the animation timeline here, and you can see that start and end frames are there. So let's make start frame like 20, and let's make end frame like 240. Okay, and within these frames we will create the animation, and the first part we will create from 20 frame to approximately 140 frame, and then 240 frame. From 120 to 240 frame we will add the text animation. Okay, so let's see how we'll do that. So the thing is that we will select the logo. Okay, so the logo is selected, and now we can select auto framing. You can do so as well, and also you can choose the transform options as well, but I will suggest auto keyframing for this. And when you will select the auto keyframing, we can just select the keyframe. So for the main logo our last frame will be 140, so let's select the 140 frame, and here we will just move it a little bit. When we'll move it a little bit, you can see the frame is added here. Okay, so we have added a nice frame. So let's move back to 120 maybe, or yeah, 120. Let's move it. What is this thing? Why logo is not moving, and animation, and I don't understand why. this is happening. So why this logo is not moving, I don't know, although we have to move this logo. And you can see that we have the 140 and 120. We play, yeah, actually it's moved, but in the view we can't see the things that, although we have it's opposite side. From here to here we need here at this stage we need our logo at this spot. Okay, and what is this thing? Why this is happening? Let's delete the frames and let's select it, set origin to geometry, and when I move it, you can see we can't move it at all. I don't know why this is. Yeah, sorry, I didn't have disabled this. Sorry for this mistake. We have to set the origin. First I will just select it, set origin to geometry, and then we have to disable this thing, otherwise we will face the issues. Sorry for that. So I just forget to do this. So anyhow, now we are ready. So let's move back to 140 and let's select our first frame, enable this auto keyframing, and let's move it a little bit. Okay, and now let's move to 120 and let's move it a little bit like this. Okay, and not too much, very small. And then and then what we can do, we can just move it a little bit. Let's for example 100, and let's move it here, and we have to check out the camera as well. You can see that camera is not far away, so we will just bring it here, and let's rotate it to the z-axis, I think. Yeah, z-axis. So let's rotate it to 90 degree z-axis. Okay, so now you can see we are rotated the logo 90 degree z-axis. Let's bring it to 80. Okay, approximately 20 frames. And one more thing, we have to check that how much I have moved the logo. So let's bring it here, and here you can see y-axis 1.545 and here y 1.45. so we will just judge the approximate value, so 0.01, and here if we come 0.70 approximately we are moving. Okay, so here you can see, yeah, 70 and 7140. Okay, 0.70 we have to move approximately. So let's move here, and after 1.45 60 2.10 something. Okay, so let's move it to 2.10 something, or okay, 2.20, no issue. And here at the just rotate it to 180 degree. Okay, and no, sorry, not this one, this one, 180 degree z-axis. Okay, so 90 and 180 degree. Okay, so now what will happen, that our logo will be animating like this in the last. Okay, that is good. And now we will just move back to 60, and from 2.21 to 3. So let's move it to approximately 3. Okay, and here at this stage we will just rotate again, so from 180, so if I will check 180 like is okay, this side, so this side, and if we move it here, so let's make it minus 90 maybe, and then test it out before moving further. And yeah, here we have the opposite direction. So I think instead of minus 90 we will just press plus 90. So if we move now, again you can see that it's on the opposite direction. So what I was expecting, that I want to move it to the other side. So I think minus 270 will be better figure. So here actually not 90, minus 270. So let's see again, and yeah, now it's good. And again I don't know why it's coming here and then it's moving like this. Anyhow, no issue. We are happy with the okay 270, and then we can move it like this. Okay, that's better logo animation, so no issue. And then what we can do is that we will from 60 to 40, and then here I think not 40, let's move it to the 50 here. Okay, and on the 50th frame we will just move a little bit from 3 to maybe 3.41. okay, and at this stage the z-axis will be 0, and then yeah, 0 is fine. And now if we move, okay, no issue, too much fluctuations, but anyhow it's fine, and that's fine. And now we will just move it to 40, and we will just rotate it to y, not y, rotation to the x-axis, and we will rotate it to 0, and yeah, 0, and from 90 to 0. Okay, that's good. And then we'll just go back here, move it a little bit more to something like this camera view, and we will just move it from 0 to minus 90. okay, and then we'll to 20th frame, and we will just rotate it from minus 90 to minus 180, and that's it. I think it should work. So now let's play it. So you can see that from camera beyond, the logo is coming like this, and then it's rotating like this. Yeah, quite good, although the rotation is too much, but anyhow it's quite dynamic, and that's fine. But one thing is that the camera, here you can see that at this stage that is good, that logo is coming behind from camera. And at this stage what we can do, let's bring this logo a little bit back, so it will come behind from the camera like this. So now you can see it's coming behind from logo from camera, and like this. But here you can see that it's not capturing inside the camera at this stage, approximately this stage at least. So here at this stage we want to actually focus the camera a little bit. okay, so let's bring this area here, and let's select the camera, and on the 50th frame we will just move the camera a little bit back like this. okay, and in the last frame, which will be the 140th frame, we will just move the camera a little bit like this. okay, a little bit in, Now if we play the animation, let's see. Okay, now it's fine, it's within the camera. Okay, so now we will just enable the text, and we will actually animate the text now, because the main logo, we already have animated the main logo. And you can see that if we select the logo, we can bring it here, and from 20th frame we have started the logo animation, and here you can see the camera. That's great. But what is this? The fight gear text is also no, it's not animating, it's the camera animation, so that's why we assumed that fight gear logo is also animating, so it's not animating at all. So let's select the text, and we will start animating the text. Press 1 to bring it to the front view, and we will start animating our logo text. So from F we will start animating the F word, and then later on we will apply that animations to other characters as well. Okay, so we have selected the first text, which is the F, and we will start animating the F word. And one more thing is that we don't need too big animation, I think, because okay, I think okay, let's do that, no problem. So here you can see we have this text, and this record option we can mute it for now, and we can manually do the keyframing as well, so don't be worried about that. And then we will just bring it to the last point, which was the 140. But if we select the logo, you can see that on 120 we have maintained it, and it was stable on 120 as well. So we'll start animating our F word from 180. Okay, so what we can do, we can go to the text, and on the 120th frame, before 120th frame we will just bring it to the final frame, which is 240, and we will just save this this state, okay, this location. So here you can see that we will animate it on z-axis. Okay, so what we will do, also you can see here in the here in this camera view as well. So what we will do, we will just record the z-axis position, okay, location. So let's click here on the z location, and now the keyframe is added on the z position, and that's great. So now we will just move back, and we will just move to the 120th frame, because we will start animation from 120th frame, and then we will just bring this F to maybe to yeah, actually I think we should bring this text beyond the screen, beyond the camera. Let's bring it here, so our text will come all the way from here. Okay, and then we will just click here on the Z position, so a node is added here. Okay, and then we will just come to the other position, and that be approximately the bigger area, maybe 200 frame. Okay, I think one. Okay, let's make it one, but it is a half, so 190 is fine, I think. So let's bring it on 190, and at this stage we will just bring it all the way out here, not too higher than this footsteps, because we will animate all the words. So here it is fine, I think, and then we will record the Z position as well. Okay, so now if you will see, the word will animate like this, okay, like this, and which is good thing, but definitely we need a proper transition throughout this. So what we can do, we can just come here in the timeline and click here and click here, and let's go to the graph editor, and now we have the graph editor here. And if we click on view, and if we come here, you will see that we have the option of frame all. So at this spot we will select all the nodes and press T, and here you can see that we have some options. So we'll just select the, okay, why that option is, yeah, here it is, Bezier. Okay, so select the Bezier, and now we will select the first node, and we will press SX, and we will make it small. Then we will select this node, press SX, and we will make it small. Then we will press this node, press SX, and we will make it bigger. Okay, so for better transition. So now if you will see that the animation will be quite smooth, hopefully, as per the text. You can see we have this type of animation, and yeah, that's better. That's better than before. So now we also need some rotation. So let's bring the frames to the 40th frame, and instead of these things, we will again move back to the timeline so that we can analyze the exact frame size. So let's bring it to 120, and on 120 we will just rotate it to Z axis. Okay, so the letter will be rotated to the Z axis, and we need it to be 180 degree. Okay, so 180 degree, and then we will just record the keyframe on 120, and then definitely on the last key, which will be this key 240, we will just make it 0 degree, and we'll record the frame. So now you will see that our letter will be rotating with the animation. That's great. Okay, so we have created successfully the position and rotation animation for the text. So now it's time to add some more impact here. So let's go to 240 frame, and let's go to modifier, and let's add a modifier here, and we will just add a simple deform modifier. And when we will add the simple deform modifier, you can see that we have a twist, we have a bend, we have a taper, we have a stretch. So let's select bend, and let's bend it to y-axis, and you can see that we have a nice bending for the letter, and which is quite good. And what we will do on the 240th frame, which is the last frame, we don't need any bend thing over here. So let's make the angle 0, and then click a keyframe. So that's great. Now let's move back to the 120th frame, which is the first frame, and let's make it 45 degree, and let's record this frame. Okay, like this, and let's move further, and definitely here we can use the 45 degree. So there we have recorded minus 45, and what we will do, we will we will just come here, and we will just add minus 45 here, and let's record the frame as well. And now if we see, you can see this type of animation, yeah, which is quite good, and but definitely we have to do some mysteries here as well. But I think we have to increase some frames as well. So let's make it to 56 frames. Okay, so okay, to 80 frames. Okay, so now what will happen, that when we reach at this point, okay, we have added the 45-degree here, but I will not add this keyframe over here, the angle keyframe. So let's go to the 190, and I will just remove this thing. And now I think yeah, I just have removed it, and let's bring it here on the last keyframe, which is 240, and here we will add minus 45. Let's like this. Okay, so now let's see. So like this, and oh, what happened? Minus 45. Okay, and anyhow you can play with the, okay, so no issue, it comes like this and then this. So here at this style, at this stage we have minus 45 here, then minus 45 here, so in between on 190 we will add 45. Yeah, like this, and now it will be much better. So you can see, yeah, like this, then like this, and then like this. Yeah, that's good. And now after some frames, so for example on 46, 47, let's make it 47, this is minus 45, so we need 45 divided by 2. Okay, so let's make it 45 divided by 2, so it is minus 22, sorry, 22.5. so let's record the frame here. Let's bring it little bit more, so maybe 53. Okay, and here we will just make it minus 22 divided by 2, enter. Okay, so it will just create a smaller animation in the end. So now you can see minus, and just record it, and then we will just move back further, and we will just go to the 60th frame, 260th frame, and if you want some more animation, that's fine, but I will just make it 0 and record this. Okay, so 260th frame will be our last ending frame, and let's make it 260 instead of 280. Okay, so now you can see that this is the text animation. So now at this point we will just again click here, and we will just go to the graph editor, and let's again click on view frame all, and we will just hide the location thing. So here you can see we have transform, so just disable the transform layer, and we only have this main the animation layer. So here you can see like this. Okay, yeah, okay, so what we'll do for this, we will just select the first 3 frames. So here you can see this is the first frame, and then this is the second frame, and this will be the third frame. Okay, here it is. So we will just zoom in, and indeed we can just select all the frames, no issue, and press T, and let's convert it to Bezier, and then we will just select the first frame SX to make it small a little bit. Then we have the second frame, and SX to make it small, a little bit big actually, we want a variation here. And then this is the third frame, and we will just rotate it like this. Okay, so yeah, this rotation will be fine, I think. So now let's see the result. So you will see that it will give us a more better transition, I think. Okay, yeah, smooth transition, which is quite good. And now we will add some more variations. So let's enable again the transform. Let's go back to the timeline, and now we will just go to the last frame, which is indeed in this case not 240, it's 260 now. Okay, let's move to 260, and here we will again add another modifier. Okay, this modifier is already added for the bend, but we need another modifier, and we will just use the same modifier, which is a simple deform modifier. Okay, so let's add it again, and for this we will just select the taper modifier, and let's twist modifier, and let's select the z-axis twist, and if we twist it, you can see this type of result. Okay, so that's great. So now let's make the twist to 0 and record. Okay, and then let's bring it to the first frame here. Okay, on the 120, let's make it 180 degree, and let's record it, and now you will see that we have this type of twist as well for the letter F. Okay, so now we will also download a free add-on available, Commotion, with the name of Commotion. So let's go to GitHub, and you can download this add-on. You can click here for the latest version. So let's click here, and here it is. We have the zip file, and for the version December 14, this is the latest one. So let's download it, and we can add it in Blender, but before that we will just copy the main animations. So that add-on we will use for the offset purpose. Okay, so now you can see that our animation is ready for the F key. So now for the other keys, what we can do, we can copy the information of this layer. So for that purpose we will select all the layers. Okay, so for example the R layer and all the layers, and in the last we will select the first layer, which is the F layer, which has the animation, and we will press Ctrl L, and then you can see that we have here a lot of things. So we will just link animation data. So when we will click on link animation data, and now you can see that we have the position and animation, rotation and position linked, but we didn't have information for the modifiers. Okay, so now no issue, select everything again, press Ctrl L again, and then we have copy modifiers thing. So let's copy the modifier, and now you will see that we will have a nice animation for fight gear over the logo. Okay, so that's beautiful. You can see that everything working fine, and the logo is already very nice, but for the offset purpose we will add that add-on. So let's go to the add-on, because I will just check the name, Commotion. Okay, so the name was Commotion. So let's go to edit, preferences, let's go to the add-ons, and let's install that add-on. So click here, let's go to the downloads, and I think I have the downloads and compressed. Here is compressed, and here we will find out the Commotion. So Commotion, so where it is, I will just we can Commotion, select the Commotion, and now that add-on is available. So let's click here to enable the add-on, and that's great. Now animation Commotion is added. So definitely you can refresh it, or you can click here and save the preferences, click cross here, and now if you will press N or side, you can see that we have a nice Commotion tab here. Okay, so now for performing this offset thing, first of all we will select all the layers which are connected here, and we will just go to object, and we will just go to the where is file and object, and here we have the relation thing. So here you will find relations, and we have the make single user relation. Okay, so here in make single user relation you can see we have object animation. Okay, so let's click on this, and now we can perform the offset. So now we will just select all the layers again. Okay, here, and in the timeline we will select all the timeline animation, these keyframes as well. Okay, so like this, and after selection we will just give it offset. So let's give it a offset of 3, and then we will just sort by name is fine, and then we will just click on offset animation. Okay, so let's see now. So what happens? So yeah, although the offset is added, but I don't know, these frames are why here after 250. I don't know, because yeah, here we have the logo animation ended, and after time it started the animation, although the offset is added nicely, but I don't know why its animation is starting after time. So anyhow, no issue, we can move the keyframes, that's not a big issue. Okay, so now I have just moved these keyframes to back, and now you can see that everything looks good. And here you can see, although we have a little issue with the camera, because here you can see that when the animation starts here on 20th frame, the logo, this text is visible in the camera, because the camera position is not fine. Initially I think we have zoomed out the camera a little bit, so that's why the issue is. And then at this spot you can see when the camera zoom in, then our logo position, the text position is fine for animation, and then definitely the animation is fine, and that's everything is better. But for the camera position here, if you will see the 20th frame, it's not fine. So what we can do, we can go to camera, and here is the camera timeline, and yeah, and what we can do is that here I will just focus on the camera, and hide this thing. You can press N to hide these things. So okay, so here is the camera, and we don't want to focus that thing. So here where we can place, we can, if we move the camera a little bit higher, no issue, because that will add a little bit more dynamicity to the thing. So no issue at all. I think record the z-axis position here, okay, for the camera on the 20th frame, and then you can see that the camera position at this stage, we will also make it higher, so that we don't want to see the text logo actually at this stage. And let's record it again. Okay, and then now you can see that now that is fine actually. Yeah, that is fine. And now if we move further, the you can see that the the logo is visible little bit here, and actually we don't need it. And you can see that at this have to make it a little bit more, I think, up. Okay, so that it should not be visible again. I will record it and sorry, record it, and now, yeah, now it's fine. And after that, if we move further, the camera is zooming in, and that is fine now. Okay, so here now I think the animation is quite good and accurate, and we don't, the camera transition is also fine. Okay, so beautiful. So that's nice. We have successfully added a nice animation, and definitely, as you can see, the keyframing due to offset, it's approximately on our complete animation is finishing on around 292. So simply let's make it 300. Okay, and we will just make a animation for from 20th frame to 300 seconds. Okay, 300 frames. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so that's great. And now we can actually add a material for the fight gear, and we can use the similar material for the logo as well. So I think similar material will be fine or not. Let's see. Let's select the text F, and let's go to materials. So let's go to add material and logo silver, and let's see how it will look like. It's good, I think. I don't know from far away, because we will have from the distance how it will look like, but here it's quite good, and we can do this for all the letters. So I think let's apply the same shader, same material to all, and I think one by one we have to add. Definitely you can use your own material, but for me it's quite good. And the final thing will be the lighting for our animation, and let's now focus on lighting thing. Okay, and rendering thing. So now here you can see that if we press 1, this is the frontal view, and this is the logo. Yeah, beautiful. That's good, I think. And yes, it's fine. Yeah, you can see it will create some metallic effect as well, because the color combination is like this, so that we will get a metallic effect as well through the animation. Okay, so that's beautiful. Now let's bring it here, and let's now add the lighting thing. And here you can see that this is not the render view, this is a shaded view. So let's bring here the rendered view. So press Z, and that's good, and you can see this rendered view. And you can see that we have a small background here, and which we don't need. So let's go to the word settings, and in the word settings we will just remove the background, because we don't need any environmental lighting, any background lighting. We will just make it black, totally black, and then we will just come here, and let's add our first light. So before adding first light, we will just go to the render settings, and here we will select the Eve system, because for this animation Eve is fine. and also we'll enable some other things as well, like volumetric, but we will do that when we will add a cube for volumetric lighting. So now that's fine, and now what we will do, we'll just add our first light. So let's press shift A, let's go to the lights, let's add area light, and let's bring the area light over here. Okay, you can see a small beam of light over here. Definitely we can go to the right view maybe, and from the right view we'll just place it little bit higher and little bit like this, and let's add a rotation here like this. Okay, beautiful. So now we have successfully added the lighting, added a light, and now we'll just go to light settings, power, let's add 2000 watt power for this area light, and definitely we have others you can play with, and the shape, let's choose it rectangle, and also you can see that we have a custom distance. So if you will see here, you can see that light is the light beam is still here, which we don't want, and we can actually set up the custom distance. So you can see this is the 40 meter, we don't need it, let's make it 3 meter approximately. So let's see 3 meter is fine or not. So you can see 3 meter is approximately fine, but it's not covering the text thing. So let's make it 5 meter maybe, and now it's covering the text as well, although it's in the text. Yeah, text is receiving some light from this area light as well. So now let's add the volumetric lighting. So for volumetric lighting, we can create a cube here, shift A, let's go to mesh, and let's add a cube. So definitely the size of the cube matters, so let's make it bigger because we have a bigger logo. So let's go to top view, and if we go to the wireframe mode, we can visualize the cube like this. Okay, so now let's make it bigger like this, and yeah, where is the camera? So okay, let's make it like this a little bit, and now if we move back to shaded view, we have the cube here, and the camera is here. So select it and move it towards the camera, and the cube should cover the camera and the logo itself. So let's make it a little bit more big, and now you can see impact here. Okay, it's already impacting the overall area here, and yeah, so but definitely we don't need the normal shader for this or normal material for this, and I will actually cover the area light as well, okay, within the cube, so that everything should be in the cube. And now you can see the result here. So now yeah, now it's fine, and now we will just go to the materials, and we will just go to material, add a material on the cube, and before that I will just rename it to the volume for the volumetric lighting, and then we can go to the shading, and we can actually place a section here. Okay, sorry, I want a section here. Okay, and let's bring the shading view here, shader view here. So now you can see that we have a shader view here. Let's zoom in and let's delete the principal shader, we don't need it. And here we will just press shift A, we'll just go to the shader and we will add the principal volume. Okay, so that's beautiful. Now we will just tag this volume to volume. Okay, and now you can see the result that we have a light very small implementation here. So for making it more effective, we can just make it 0.005. around 0.005 is a better thing. And now you can see that we have a nice volumetric lighting into our scene. And definitely we can actually, I think 0.05, oh it's too big, 0.001, yeah, it's small, so I will use 0.00, yeah, that's fine. I don't need too much volumetric lighting impact into our animation scene. So anyhow, you can make it brighter and always make it to blue, or if you want to create some fog type effect, you can make it to bluish or any other color whatsoever you want. I will just make it lighter gray. Okay, and that's beautiful. Now one more thing, that inside the this section, the modifier section, the main rendered section, you can see that we have some volumetric thing here, and we can enable the volumetric shadows. And here you can see that volumetric shadows are fine. And one more important thing is this end thing. So this is very important. So if we go into the top view here, and let's go to the wireframe mode, Z wireframe, so that we can analyze the things. So here is the camera and here is the logo. So we'll just measure the distance from here to here, and you can see that it is approximately 7 meter or around 7 to 8 meter distance. So here you can just end distance should be 8 meter. Okay, in our case, so it will be better. Okay, so for getting the better results, so that's great. And also for the, if we go to this area light, and we have this volumetric shadows, and we have the custom distance and shadows. We can enable the shadows, and we can also enable the contact shadows if you want to get some more better results. Okay, and definitely you can play with these values as well. So beautiful. So now we will add the other lights. So the light we want to add is the spotlight now. So let's shift A, go to the light, and we'll just add a spotlight. Spotlight is added. Let's go to the lighting section, and before going to the lighting section, we can go to the transform section, and here we can see that the rotation and everything is 0 0 0. So for this light we want the rotation to the 90 degree, make it 90 degree. And now you can see that we can actually okay, we need it to minus 90 degree. Okay, sorry, let's make it minus 90 degree. So we need a beam coming from behind. Okay, so sorry again, I just played with the wrong thing. No issue, again I will just create a light. Sorry for the mistake. And here we can just go to rotation X minus 90 degree. Okay, and we will select this move tool and then we will move it. Okay, don't move it from here. This is the other thing, this is the move. So now we will just move it to the logo and behind the logo, and let's place it where you want to get a result of a light beam, or you can see sun type light emitting from behind. So here you can see the result, and I think this area is good, approximately the middle, so that is fine. And now we can go to beam the spotlight. Let's increase the intensity, and now you can see a bigger intensity here, the light intensity. And definitely you can play with other things like shape, like radius, etc. So the radius, zero radius will be much better. Okay, so now some point lights I have placed on other sections, and now I'm happy with the final results. Although for the professional purposes it's not enough, and you can do compositing, you can add some particles as well to your animation, and a lot of other things to improve the final results. But due to this tutorial, because tutorials are already too lengthy, so I'm not covering the compositing thing and particles especially for this project. And that's it, this is our animation. Although the texture maybe that's not much good, and you can use your own shade materials for better results as well. But anyhow, overall it's quite good. And now we will just export it as a video. So how we can do that? We can just go to the render properties. Here you can see, and here you can set up a lot of things like screen size 1921,080 is selected, 100% aspect ratio. You can change this format as well, and you have a lot of formats here. For me it's good. You can change the frame rates. I will just change it to 30. Definitely more frame rates will consume more memory of your GPU, and but definitely better quality and result. Frame range is there, so 20 and the 300 frames we want to capture in between, and that's fine. And then we have the output. So here the folder of the output. So I will just go to desktop. I will just go to the fight gear, where it is fight gear, and here I want to just export the video here. So let's accept it, and then as you can see we have the file format. So here you have a lot of formats, and we have to select this FMEG video. So let's select this, and then we have other settings as well, like RGB and what else, output. Yeah, here we have the video, and we will select the default H264. Output quality, you can select the high quality or medium or low quality. I will just select the medium quality, and then we have encoding speed, which is good. So everything is ready. One more thing is encoding. So here, where is the encoding? Yeah, here we can select MPEG4. So this is the best one, and other things are fine. Okay, so now we have to render this animation. So let's go to render here, and we have render animation button, and we can just click on this button, and it will start rendering the animation. It will take definitely some time to render the complete animation, and then we will get a HD video. Definitely you can improve the render quality, and you can do a lot of things like compositing particles and etc. But for our purpose of this tutorial, that is fine. And definitely you can see that the video is rendering frame by frame, and when the render will be accomplished, then it will be a nice animation hopefully. Finally, you can add your animation to any video editing software. In my case, I just used the Camtasia and didn't give any extra animation or any other effects. Just add audio behind, and you can see this is our final logo and final animation, and we can just render it as a video animation. Definitely in some softwares like Adobe Premiere, After Effects, you can add more and more effects to your intro, but we will keep this intro simple. Definitely later on we can improve it, and I'm just saving it as an MP4, and the size is this, which is good. And now I'm just saving it for the purpose for the use in our game. So fight gear intro logo. Okay, so let's save it, and it will save the animation.